It's probably because I'm getting old, but I really cannot understand the new technology on leap year. For no good reason, March the 1st, which was a Friday, actually on my radio-controlled clock told me it was on Thursday, and I've then had to come down on the Saturday to find that not only had the date changed, but so had the month, and I'm an April Fool. Rather nice when during the week in the Times, Graham Gouldman, my old friend from 10cc, actually dared be nice and positive about me. It's rather strange, for the past 24 years, all newspaper coverage about me has been absolutely horrible, so it's rather nice to be called a visionary by someone like Graham. Before we get into the legal things, a bit of entertainment. The film I went to see this week, or last week, was Dune 2. Now, I've got to admit, I adore Dune. I loved the book by Frank Herbert back in the 60s, or it might have been 70s. I loved the first film, which very few people liked, with Sting in it. And I loved the first version, the first episode of the new Dune movie, with, of course, Timothée Chalamet, who is gorgeous in my mind. So I was looking forward to Dune 2, and it is fantastic. I absolutely loved it. The effects are great. It looks spectacular. It's a good script. It doesn't lag for a moment. It's terribly long. I think it's as long as Oppenheimer. But whereas Oppenheimer was at least an hour too long, not for 1 second does your attention lag in Dune 2. I really loved it. I thought it was, so far, probably the best film of 2024. We'll have to see what else comes along, but I really thought it was absolutely terrific and would urge you to go and see it. The sound is sensational in it. Dune 2, a smash.
What's he like, Mavis? He's a real tasty geezer. He's grown his hair a bit, but it's smooth, not too long. And he wears a baseball shirt with a number 17 on. He looks great in his big white basketball boots. He's stupid over football and he looks me in the eye when he shoots. Reggae, 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 here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, reggae, lay it on me. Reggae, 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 here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, reggae, lay it on me. He'll always start a fight for me. He's always on the phone. At the dance hall, in the Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, Reggae, lay it on me. Reggae, Reggae, Reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, Reggae, lay it on me. Reggae, Reggae, Reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, Reggae, lay it on me. Reggae, Reggae, Reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, Reggae, lay it on me. Johnny Reggae! Reggae, Reggae, Reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, Reggae, lay it on me. Reggae, Reggae, Reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, Reggae, lay it on me.
Back on entertainment, various things that I was involved in years ago have happened over the last few days. There were the Brits, who I saved after the disaster year, which had Mick Fleetwood and Sam Fox in it, and everything went wrong. And after that, the BPI, British Phonographic Industry, the company that put the Brits on, came to me and begged me to take it over and return it to the level of prestige it had had before. And I did so. I had actually presented the Brits. I hosted it a couple of years earlier, and it was a huge success then. So much so that they decided, wrongly in my opinion, to move it to a much bigger venue, the Albert Hall, mistake, and to put somebody who was far cheaper than I was, by the way, but also far more popular and better looking, they thought, Noel Edmonds in charge. That was awful a mistake. And then the year afterwards, they tried it once more with Mick Fleetwood and Sam Fox, and it became legendary how appalling it was. So I took it over and salvaged it and saved it, and have very fond memories of my 3 years in charge. I only resigned the role because I got so annoyed with the record company bosses trying to take over and tell me who should and should not be on the show and how I should do it. The moment when it started, the first year, was such a disaster the year before. They didn't want anything to do with it. They just wanted me to be the person who, if it was terrible, got all the brickbats. And it was a huge success. Then the second year, they thought, well, it was probably a fluke. We don't want anything to do with it this year either. And that was the year I thought was the best, actually. And they kept away from me there. And it was a huge success. So the third year, they thought, actually, we need our acts on here. We need to do what we want to do to make our priorities important and all the rest of the rubbish. We need to take over. This man King is having too much power and control. And that's when I said, okay, I'll do it this year. But after this year, fuck off and find yourself someone else. And ever since then, they've had other people doing it. So I'm obviously slightly bitter about it all. But what can you say? Good for the Brits, let them do it. But we all know the problem with the music industry. It's become so specialist now because there's nobody in it anymore who can spot a mass appeal hit and find one, let alone make one, that they actually all believe in going in the specialist areas like rap or hip-hop or rock or girl singers. There's always an awful lot of women singers, most of whom don't sell very many records. I mean, yeah, Taylor Swift has got lots and lots of streaming, but is she selling? I don't think that many. Times have changed. I'm nearly 80, for fuck's sake. But anyway, good luck to the Brits, I say, but it's just not for me anymore. And I don't think it appeals to lots of people anymore. And the other thing, of course, is we have announced our Eurovision entry. Well, I ran Eurovision for several years. You can see the flag above my head. I still have that I was waving like mad during the year that we won. The United Kingdom won, which was my third year in charge. Katrina and the Waves with Love Shine a Light many years ago, 1997, I think it was. Anyway, I actually thought my best ever Eurovision entry was the year before, which we really put together for Eurovision. It was by a girl called Gina G. It was called Ooh Ah Just a Little Bit. And to me, that was the perfect Eurovision entry. It only made number 8 in the voting. And at that point, I thought, I'm going to give up. So I resigned and the BBC begged me to stay. And the reason they wanted me to stay is because I had one foot in the door of television and one foot in the music industry. So I knew both, plus I had good ears and I knew what a mass appeal hit was. And as a result, I was able eventually to find a winner. I stayed on for the 3rd year because the BBC begged me to do so, and we did indeed win that year. But I still think Ooh Ah Just a Little Bit was the best ever Eurovision entry. As for the Ollie Alexander record that is going to be Dizzy, is our UK entry, I've got to say, doesn't do a thing for me. And I rather like Ollie Alexander. I thought his Years and Years tracks were really very good. The trouble is, what Ollie Alexander needed was somebody like me who knows a mass appeal hit, who is prepared to say, oh no, Ollie, that doesn't work. You've got to change the chorus. You should go up a key here. You should do something different there. And that's what I, as a producer, always did. Even as a co-writer, I would have done. And I think that way, we would have had a really strong entry. Like I thought, actually, Sam Smith was a couple of years ago. And I thought that was the best entry we'd had since my era. But I'm afraid the Ollie Alexander thing doesn't stand a chance. There's actually some quite good entries in this year. I'm rather partial to the Croatian entry, which makes me giggle. It's terrible, but very catchy, and it could do rather well. If I were you, and I've got 10 quid that I want to put on the winner of Eurovision, and I could put it on nice and early, like now, which is 2 or 3 months before it happens, I reckon you'll find Croatia's probably 20 to 30 to 1 against. I'd put my 10 quid on that because I wouldn't be at all surprised if it does well. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Eurovision, the Brits, and other musical entertainment things. having dinner with my friend Arthur, who's one of the top barristers in Great Britain, giving me advice on various legal matters, and his lovely wife Steffi. I've been close friends of theirs for about 25 years now, about legal matters. So on to the legal area. I am still, believe it or not, fighting my wrongful conviction from 2001, even though several times since then I've been accused and found not guilty on all charges. But back in 2001, when I didn't know how to cope with things like that, people lying or exaggerating about past experiences, I had to rely on lawyers who weren't, to be quite honest, very good. No lawyers are very good. Lawyers take on far too many things. They can't concentrate on detail like you can if you're the one being accused. Anyway, if you are wrongly convicted, you have to eventually appeal to the CCRC, the Criminal Case Review organisation. And they've been proven to be really not fit for purpose. The Andrew Malkinson case, where he was in prison for rape for 17 years that he did not do, and he was eventually exonerated when they managed to find some DNA, not his lawyers, but actually his charity lawyers, the appeal organisation, who are very good, managed to track down DNA proof that his DNA was not on the victim of the rape and somebody else's was. So he got off. But I read the ruling from the Court of Appeal, and that was fascinating because whilst they obviously quashed his conviction on the DNA thing, there were 4 other grounds that he put in that he felt warranted the conviction having been quashed. And the Court of Appeal found for him on grounds 2 and 3, not for 4 and 5, but on 2 and 3. And those were grounds that the CCRC had turned down on a couple of occasions, mainly which involved failure to disclose vital evidence by the police to his defence team. Now, that is one of the main things in my wrongful conviction, that the police failed to disclose several things, the most important one of which was my main accuser, who I could name because he bravely waived his anonymity to make lots of money from the media when I was convicted in 2001, was a man called Chris Seeley, who's just passed away last year. Chris Seeley, about 4 or 5 years before he made his complaint about me, which he only made to the police after he read about my arrest, which caused all sorts of people to come out of the woodwork in 2000. But about 4 or 5 years before that, he tried to sell his story to the News of the World. And a guy called Sean O'Brien from the News of the World went and interviewed him, and he then gave his story to Sean O'Brien and said he wanted £250,000 for it. And Sean O'Brien said he was unlikely to get even a tenth of that, but he'd go back and tell his editor, told his editor, who said this is all a load of rubbish, we don't want anything to do with it, and that was the end of that. But the police then interviewed Sean O'Brien, and his transcript, which was detailed about what Seeley said, was totally different in dozens of ways to the story that Seeley then came up with to the police in 2000. Now, we were never shown that transcript. We were told some details, like he'd asked for £250,000, which he denied furiously. And we accosted him with a couple of those things, but we were never shown the actual transcript, in which there were dozens of contradictions to his police statement, clearly showing he'd made one or other or both of the allegations up. We did eventually get to see that transcript, funnily enough, because it was accidentally revealed to me in the disclosure for our 2018 trial by Surrey Police. And when I saw that, my jaw dropped and I went, this is unbelievable. This proves the guy was a fantasist and a liar. Anyway, that is the basis of my current application to the CCRC, saying they really should, in the light of events that have happened since, like the Malkinson one, where the judges found that the CCRC should have referred it to them years before. My hope is that now the CCRC will see that and go, do you know what? We really must send it back to the Court of Appeal, in which case I think my convictions will be completely quashed and I'll leave court as a free man without a stain on my character. Ha ha, some hope. Getting back to the Brits and Ray winning 6 different awards, Brit Awards, the reason she did is because there was nothing else around. I bet she doesn't win a single Grammy award in America. The entire music industry has really collapsed, and these days most recording artists are no better than buskers on the tube who may be very good in their way but have no mass appeal whatsoever. If you watch the terrific BBC show on Sarah Everard and the man who killed her, Wayne Couzens, you will have been as impressed as I was by the work of good police officers and at the same time shattered by how appalling the police can be. The same happened in the Emma Caldwell case in Scotland, where basically the media got the killer and not the police for years and years and years. Sometimes the media can be brilliant and the police can be awful. It's well worth thinking about that when you make your consideration. See you next episode.